Hey everybody. Well, happy Canada Day, everyone. And I say nothing says Canada Day more than a Jimi Hendrix song. Actually, it has nothing to do with it at all. This just happens to be the day that I finished writing up the script for this thing, finally, so I'm doing it today. A song called Hey Joe by the Jimi Hendrix Experience from 1966, written by Billy Roberts. And in the background, you can see there's a video of Jimi Hendrix and his band doing Hey Joe back in the day. Well, this is the longest script I've ever written for a video, so I better get at it. This is my first Jimi Hendrix song on my YouTube playlist, My Karaoke Songs, and my 306th video on there in total. The first and only time I can remember hearing this song, I didn't even hear the whole song. I saw part of a black and white music video on Much More Music, probably in the late 90s or early 2000s, of which all I heard was the fifth and part of the sixth verses, where it says, "Hey Joe, where you gonna run to? Where you gonna go? I'm going way down south." And that was it. Just a small part of the song. That's all I heard, but it has stuck with me all these years, and it came to mind when I was making this list of songs that I remembered from my younger years. The song here, list here, which is up to number 18 now. Song number 18 today. So here we go. Right on. So, yep, this is song number 18 of 58 on the original list, which I've added to more recently with songs that I've sung over the past 15 or 20 years at a local bar here in Miramichi called Dooley's, which I'm, by the way, going back to on Thursday night this week, because got a little time off work, so a chance to get back in there, do some singing. The list is now up to 133 songs, and it will grow much bigger over time. For me, Hey Joe proves that just a little bit of Jimi Hendrix is all I need to hear to realize that he is one of the best guitarists to ever strike a chord. He sure struck a chord with me many years ago, as well as when I saw his Woodstock performance on the concert film, of which Hey Joe was the last song performed at the festival. And before I go on about the next section here, I gotta give props out to my brother, Larry, who gave me a tip, because I told him there was a movie that I remembered watching where there was a black guy and turned out to be an Oriental guy riding in a car, and the black guy says to the Oriental guy, "Have you heard Jimmy? You can't hear Jimmy," as if non-black people can't appreciate Jimi Hendrix. And I was trying to remember what movie that was from. And my brother told me, well, it sounds like something that Chris Tucker might do. So that's what I looked up. I Googled it, and I found out one of the Rush Hour movies. That's what it was. So there you go. Thanks, Larry, for that. Right on. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about, let me see here now. The story behind the song, yeah, some information about that, the background, and the lyrics explained of Hey Joe. Yes, sir, the lyrics are from the point of view of a man on the run and planning to escape to Mexico after shooting his unfaithful wife. The authorship of the song has been contested, and different recordings have credited its writing to either Billy Roberts, like Carafun, Secondhand Songs, in the North American edition of Are You Experienced, the album, or Dino Valenti, or have listed it as a traditional song, as in the original UK single. Roberts may have drawn inspiration for Hey Joe from three earlier works: the song Baby Please Don't Go to Town, written by his girlfriend Neela Horne, later Miller, which uses a similar chord progression; Carl Smith's 1953 US country hit Hey Joe, which shared the title and the questioning format, and I will have on a later video, and the early 20th century traditional ballad Little Sadie, also known as Cocaine Blues, among other titles, the Johnny Cash version of which I have sung at the bar several times, which tells of a man on the run after he has shot his wife. The lyrics in that song are totally different from this Hey Joe. Roberts registered the song as his composition at the Library of Congress in 1962 and recorded a demo tape of it. Roberts also played the song when touring with his friend Dino Valenti. When Valenti moved to California in 1963, he began performing it himself and copyrighted it in Los Angeles as his own composition. Roberts later regained the composing credit, but a share of the publishing income was retained by the Los Angeles Publishing Company. Other sources claim that Roberts assigned the rights to the song to Valenti while Valenti was in jail in order to give him some income upon release. Rights to the song were administered from 1966 into the 2000s by the music publisher Third Story Music. There, the author is listed as Billy Roberts, and that's what Carafun uses. As one of the publishers is Third Story, and the writer is Roberts, and Secondhand Songs also cites Roberts, so I consider him the true writer as given in the most sources. The lyrics to Little Sadie, though not Cocaine Blues, often locate the events in Thomasville, North Carolina, and down in Jericho, South Carolina, a large rice plantation in the lowlands. Roberts was born in South Carolina. The lyrics are written in 2 stanzas with a short, repeated refrain. The first stanza has a bystander locate Joe walking with a gun in his hand and asks about his intentions. Joe answers with the main refrain that his woman did him wrong and he wishes to shoot her. In the second stanza, Joe is preparing to go on the run to Mexico in order to evade capture and avoid the police. The lyrics have been interpreted in 2 different casts of opinion, with the first cast claiming that the lyrics point to the flight of Joe to Mexico as his quest for freedom from oppression and avoiding the law. The other approach to the lyrics has been to read the Woman Done Me Wrong song as ugly and misogynist, with Joe's air of unapologetic defiance being unjustifiable, according to writer David Stubbs. I will just add a disclaimer stating that my own performance of the song on this video does not constitute personal condoning of Joe's actions in the song, or the bystanders' apparent support and encouragement of Joe. Now, here is some information about the songwriter of Hey Joe, Billy Roberts. Roberts was born William Moses Roberts Jr. on August 16, 1936, in Greenville, South Carolina. He was a songwriter and musician who performed in the folk, blues, and country rock genres from the mid to late 1950s until the early 1990s, when a serious car accident stopped his music career. He died in Atlanta, Georgia on October 7, 2017, aged 81. Roberts held copyrights on nearly 100 songs, but his only one that was released by more than one artist was Hey Joe, which was originally released under the title Hey Joe, Where You Gonna Go, and has since been covered by 226 different artists. I'll say more about the cover versions of Hey Joe later. Now, here's some information about the original recording of Hey Joe. In late 1965, Los Angeles-based garage band The Leaves recorded the earliest known commercial version of Hey Joe, which was released as a single. Roberts' song gained fans in the Los Angeles music scene of the mid-1960s, which led to fast-paced recordings in 1965 and 1966 by The Leaves, The Standells, The Surfaris, Love, The Music Machine, and The Byrds, swiftly making the song a garage rock classic. Both Valenti and The Byrds' David Crosby have been reported as helping to popularize the song before it was recorded by The Leaves. The Leaves, who had been introduced to the song while attending performances by The Byrds, who had yet to record their own version of the song, at Ciro's Rock Club, which later became the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, recorded and released 3 versions of Hey Joe between 1965 and 1966. Their first version was released on November 25, 1965 on the Mira label, but sold poorly. The band's third recorded version of the song became a hit in May and June 1966, reaching number 31 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 29 on the Canadian RPM magazine charts. The Leaves version is the only recording of the song to reach the top 40 of the Billboard chart. Now, here is some information about the Jimi Hendrix Experience version of Hey Joe. When Jimi Hendrix was exploring a more rock-oriented sound in New York City in 1966 with his group Jimmy James and the Blue Flames, Hey Joe was one of the first songs he performed regularly. His arrangement used a slower tempo reminiscent of American singer-songwriter Tim Rose's recent single version, which he had heard on a jukebox. Looking for musical acts to produce, Chas Chandler, the ex-bassist for the Animals, checked out Hendrix. By chance, the first song Hendrix performed during Chandler's visit was Hey Joe, a song Chandler was interested in promoting. As a result, Chandler decided to take Hendrix with him to England in September 1966, where he would subsequently turn the guitarist into a star. Hendrix recorded Hey Joe on October 23, 1966 at the Lane Lea Studios in London, with Chandler producing, in a blues rock style, with his new band, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Personnel on the recording were Hendrix himself on vocals and lead electric guitar, Noel Redding on bass guitar, Mitch Mitchell on drums, with backing vocals by the Breakaways and engineering by Dave Siddall. Released on December 16, 1966 on Polydor in the UK, with B-side Stone Free, written by Hendrix, Hey Joe made quite an impact. The single was released in the United States on May 1, 1967 on Reprise, with B-side 51st Anniversary. Hey Joe was the band's first single. And now here's some information about the chart performance, album appearance, and criticism of Hey Joe. The single first appeared on the UK charts on December 29, 1966, and on Melody Maker's Pop 50 chart at number 48 on January 7, 1967, when Tom Jones was on top with Green Green Grass of Home. By 4 weeks later, Hey Joe peaked at number 4 and was a front page article headlined, "It's Jumping Jimmy, Hendrix leads Stones in Pop 50 race." Hey Joe was one spot ahead of Let's Spend the Night Together by the Stones. Hendrix's version became a hit in the United Kingdom, entering the top 10 of the UK singles chart in January 1967 and peaking at number 6 on the week of February the 1st. It was beaten for the number 1 spot by the aforementioned Jones tune, the aforementioned Stones tune, Let's Spend the Night Together, The Moves' Night of Fear, Cat Stevens' Matthew and Son, and the Monkees' I'm a Believer, which was number 1. The single failed to chart in the United States. On other charts, it did best in Belgium's Ultra Top 50 Wallonia chart, where it reached number 2 for 2 weeks, outdone by Petula Clark's This Is My Song in the first of those, May 13th, the first week of that, and then by Sandy Shaw's Puppet on a String on May 20th. It reached number 8 on the Netherlands single tip chart, number 10 in Norway, number 11 on the Dutch Top 40, number 21 in West Germany, and number 40 in Australia. Hey Joe appeared on the debut studio album by the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Are You Experienced?, released in the UK first on May 12, 1967, on Track Records, without Hey Joe and 2 other songs, Purple Haze and The Wind Cries Mary, then in the US on August 23rd on Reprise, where the 3 omissions from the UK release were included, and 3 from the UK album, Red House, Remember, and Can You See Me, were omitted. The UK and US releases featured different album covers. The cover of the UK version featured a picture of Hendrix, Mitchell, and Redding. The image shows Hendrix wearing a long dark cape while standing over Mitchell and Redding, striking a Dracula-esque pose. Mitchell is on the left in a dark blue shirt, with Redding on the right in a red shirt. The album title is in white psychedelic lettering at the top left and top right. Track inexplicably put only the album's title on the cover, omitting the band's name. Polydor issued the release throughout Europe with Hendrix's name printed at the top in matching font. The US cover has a yellow background with a photo of the band taken at Kew Gardens in London using a fisheye lens. Hendrix is wearing his hair in an afro, with Redding's and Mitchell's hair in a similar fashion. Hendrix is wearing a psychedelic jacket with a pair of eyes printed on the front. The photo is from a low angle focused on Hendrix's hands. Mitchell is wearing a yellow jacket over a black shirt, and Redding has a white and yellow shirt with blue and white striped pants. Hendrix's clothes are from his own wardrobe, while Mitchell's and Redding's came from King's Row. There is an orange frame around the photo. The band name is at the top in dark red, with the album title at the bottom in purple, surreal lettering. The concept for the cover art was a group traveling through space in a biosphere on their way to bring their unworldly space music to Earth. The photographer used an infrared technique of his own invention, which combined color reversal with heat signature, further enhancing the exotic nature of the image. Although Hey Joe failed to chart in the US, it was listed at number 201 on Rolling Stone magazine's The 500 Greatest Songs of All Time in 2010, proving that a song doesn't have to be a chart hit to be a great song. In 2000, Total Guitar magazine ranked it as the 13th greatest cover version of all time. In 2009, it was named the 22nd greatest hard rock song of all time by VH1. Far Out and American Songwriter both named it Hendrix's 3rd greatest song. In 2019, the British phonographic industry awarded Hey Joe its silver certification, signifying sales of over 200,000. However, it is unknown whether this applies to his original recording or a subsequent live version. Last year, this was upped to gold, over 400,000 sales. It was also certified gold in Italy for 50,000 and platinum in New Zealand for 30,000. And now, here is some information about the cover versions of Hey Joe. 457 cover versions of Hey Joe have been released to date, including that by Jimi Hendrix, making it the 24th most covered work of all works released in 1965. Yesterday, originally by the Beatles, is number 1 on that list with 1,364 cover versions and 51 adaptations. 15 adaptations of Hey Joe have been released so far. Out of the 457 covers of Hey Joe, 349 of them are in English, with original music and lyrics. 58 are instrumentals, 1 is in Czech, 2 are in Danish, 2 are in Dutch, 6 are in English with altered music and lyrics, 11 are in French, 8 are in German, 2 are in Hungarian, 3 are in Italian, 1 is in Norwegian, 1 is in Swedish, 4 are in Spanish, 2 are in Polish, 3 are in Portuguese, 1 is in Slovenian, 1 is in Hebrew, 1 is in Ukrainian, and 1 is in Serbian. Yes, I did. I counted up all those versions. Wow. It's a lot of work. That's why it takes me so long to make these videos. Of the 349 English versions with original music and lyrics, I have heard of artists involved in 30 of them. I will mention the first 10 of those in chronological order. So, first, by American surf rock band formed in Glendora, California, the Surfaris, in April 1966 on their Decca single under the title, Hey Joe, Where Are You Going? As the B-side of So Get Out. A funny combination of titles. It's as if they told Joe to get out, then as he was leaving, called out to him, Hey Joe, where are you going? This is rated the 54th best version on secondhandsongs.com. Second, by American folk rock band The Byrds, on July 18th, 1966, on their Columbia album, Fifth Dimension. The album cover has a black background and shows the band members, 3 of them sitting on a red and yellow Oriental or Middle Eastern rug, all dressed in black, one holding a white guitar. The other member is standing behind them in a red shirt and black tie with black pants. The album title is at the top in white with the band name below. The word The is in small type in white with birds much bigger in a multicolored psychedelic style. A list of songs on the album is in even smaller type to the right. Hey Joe appears with the subtitle, Where You Gonna Go? The album also includes the Byrds' originals, 5D, Fifth Dimension, which is the title track, 8 Miles High, I See You, Mr. Spaceman, and What's Happening, along with their covers of Pete Seeger's original, I Come and Stand at Every Door, Cousin Emmy's original, John Riley, and Frank McPeak and Sons' original, Wild Mountain Time. 8 Miles High and Mr. Spaceman were their hits from this album. Their version of Hey Joe is rated the 63rd best version. Third, the version that this video is all about, by American rock guitarist, singer, and songwriter Jimi Hendrix Experience, on December 16, 1966, on the Polydor single with B-side Stone Free, written by Jimi Hendrix, and the Track Records album, Are You Experienced? I've already given a detailed description of the album covers. The album also includes their originals, all written by Hendrix, Third Stone from the Sun, Are You Experienced, the title track, Can You See Me, Fire, Foxy Lady, I Don't Live Today, Love or Confusion, Manic Depression, May This Be Love, Red House, Remember, Purple Haze, and The Wind Cries Mary. Hendrix's version of Hey Joe is the 11th cover and is rated the best by secondhandsongs.com, which says it is more famous than the original. I would agree because I had never heard of the original artist before doing research for this video, and Hendrix's is the only version I have ever heard. Fourth, by American singer and actress Cher, on November 11, 1967, on her Imperial album, With Love. On the album, her name is given with an acute accent over the E. Her version is rated the 54th best version. The album cover shows Cher from a low angle in an all-white long dress with white clouds and blue sky in the background and a white border. The album title and artist's name are on the right in black, appearing to be in the artist's own handwriting. The album also includes her original hit, written by Sonny Bono, You Better Sit Down, Kids, and another of her originals written by Bono, Mama When My Dollies Have Babies, along with her covers of St. Louis Union's original, Behind the Door, Michel Legrand and Steve Lawrence's original, I Will Wait for You, Keith Allison's original, Look at Me, Les Brown and his orchestra, vocal refrain by Miriam Shaw's original, Sing for Your Supper, Phil Oak's original, There But for Fortune, and Bob Dylan's original, The Times They Are A-Changin'. Fifth, by American singer, songwriter, guitarist, and record producer Johnny Rivers, in June 1968 on his Imperial album, Realization. The album cover has a purple background with 3 images of Rivers' head. his entire head in the middle, with only the left half of his head visible in the other two. The one on the left has the other half of his head in shadow, while the one on the right has his head cut exactly in half. Below, several necklaces appear to be hanging from his neck, but he is only visible from the chin up. The album title is in the top right in small blue type, with the artist name in the same type below in white. The album also includes Rivers' covers of Abbey Lincoln's original Brother, Where Are You?, Bob Dylan's original Positively 4th Street, and Procol Harum's original Whiter Shade of Pale, which I made a YouTube video of before, number 181, along with Rivers' originals Going Back to Big Sur, Look to Your Soul, and Summer Rain, a number 14 hit. Take a break for a little sip of water here. All this talking, oh my goodness. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm gonna croak pretty soon here. I haven't even started singing yet. Okay, sixth by UK rock band Deep Purple in July 1968 on their Tetragrammaton album, Shades of Deep Purple. Their version is rated the 4th best. The album cover has a white background in the top left with the album title and band name combined, each word in a progressively darker shade of purple. A large picture of the group is at the top right, tinted a brighter purple. Below are 2 rows of the same picture 4 times, with each picture getting progressively darker from left to right. The album also includes a re-release of their previous hit, Hush, a Billy Joe Royal original, the Deep Purple originals, and The Address, and Mandrake Root, and their covers of the Beatles' original Help, and Skip James' original Prelude, Happiness, I'm So Glad. Seventh by American rhythm and blues and soul singer, songwriter, and performer Wilson Pickett in February 1970 on his Atlantic album, Right On. The album cover shows Pickett performing on stage in a silver shirt with the lights shining on him. The artist's name is at the top in white with a line of small different colored squares below, with the album title below that. The lettering reminds me of the TV show Soul Train, though the album came out several years before Soul Train started. The album also includes a number 25 hit for Pickett and a cover of the Archies' original, Sugar Sugar, along with covers of the Magnificent Men's original, It's Still Good, and the Sweet Inspirations' original, Sweet Inspiration, and Pickett's original, Lord Pity Us All. Good title. Eighth by American punk and rock singer, songwriter, poet, painter, and author Patti Smith in August 1974 on her Mare single, with Smith's original Piss Factory on the other side, or the B-side. This is rated the 6th best version, and was recorded at the studio founded by Hendrix, Electric Ladyland. Ninth by American psychedelic rock band Spirit in 1975, the year I was born, on their Mercury double album, Spirit of 76. The album cover has a blue border with the band name in small print at the top in white. In the middle is a piece of metal that has the words Tampa Jam, Electo Jam, and From the Coast formed in spaces in the metal design. Under that is the album title in a larger space in bigger letters of the same material, like a metallic silver in color. The metallic design is on a beige background. 2 of the band members' names are in small white type in the blue border at the bottom. This was definitely one of the most difficult album covers for me to decipher, and I'm still not sure if I got it right. The album also includes Spirit's covers of America the Beautiful, combined with Bob Dylan's original, The Times They Are A-Changin', excuse me, good. Rolling Stones original, Happy, another Bob Dylan original, Like a Rolling Stone, The Star Spangled Banner, yes, the American National Anthem, and Rufus Thomas's original, Walking the Dog. And 10th by UK blues rock guitarist and singer, a member of 10 Years After, who appeared at Woodstock, Alvin Lee, 10 years later, in 1979, a live version on his Polydor album, Ride On, not to be confused with Pickett's album titled Right On. The album had studio recordings on side 1 and live recordings on side 2. The album cover shows a photo of Lee in black and white, playing his guitar on stage, wearing a dark vest over a lighter colored shirt. The artist's name is at the top in yellow, with 10 Years Later in red below, and the album title on a diagonal in white below that, over a black background. One of his bandmates is partly visible in the background. The rest of the songs on the album were all written by Lee. There are 447 more cover versions of Hey Joe, but I will not talk about any more today. And now, here is some information about Jimi Hendrix and his band, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Hendrix was born Johnny Allen Hendrix on November 27, 1942 in Seattle, Washington, and died on September 18, 1970, aged 27, in London, England, of a drug overdose. One of the famous 27 group, who all died at age 27. He was a singer, songwriter, and musician, widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential guitarists of all time. He was also known as James Marshall Hendrix, named in honor of his father and his uncle. His parents changed his name in 1946 when he was about 3 or 4 years old. Something like that. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992 as a part of his band, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, the institution describes him as, quote, arguably the greatest instrumentalist in the history of rock music, unquote. Hendrix began playing guitar at age 15. In 1961, he enlisted in the U.S. Army, but was discharged the following year. Soon afterward, he moved to Clarksville, then Nashville, Tennessee, and began playing gigs on the Chitlin circuit, earning a place in the Isley Brothers backing band and later with Little Richard, with whom he continued to work through mid-1965. He then played with Curtis Knight and the Squires. Hendrix moved to England in late 1966 after bassist Chas Chandler of the Animals became his manager. Early on, Chandler persuaded Hendrix to change the spelling of his first name from the conventional to Jimi, a more exotic spelling. Within months, he had formed his band, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, with its rhythm section consisting of bassist Noel Redding, born Noel David Redding on December 25, 1945, a Christmas baby, in Folkestone, Kent, England, and died on May 11, 2003, aged 57, in Clonakilty, Ireland. My stepmom, Margaret, will correct me on the pronunciation of that town in Ireland's name, but I'll give it a shot. He died of complications from cirrhosis of the liver. And drummer Mitch Mitchell, born John Graham Mitchell on July 9, 1946, in Ealing, Middlesex, England, and died on November 12, 2008, aged 62, in Portland, Oregon, of natural causes. He actually died while the Jimi Hendrix Experience band or group was just finishing a tour. He had been in ill health for many years due to an immune system disorder and cancer. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience achieved 3 UK top 10 hits: Hey Joe, Purple Haze, and The Wind Cries Mary. Hendrix achieved fame in the US after his performance at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967. His third and final studio album, Electric Ladyland from 1968, became his most commercially successful release and his only #1 album on the US Billboard 200 chart. The world's highest paid rock musician, Hendrix headlined the Woodstock Festival in 1969 and the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970. He died from barbiturate-related asphyxia. Hendrix was inspired by American rock and roll and electric blues. He favored overdriven amplifiers with high volume and gain, and was instrumental in popularizing the previously undesirable sounds caused by guitar amplifier feedback. Usually when something like that happens when I'm on stage at Dooley's, feedback, I'll say, oh, Woodstock is breaking out up here. He was also one of the first guitarists to make extensive use of tone-altering effects units in mainstream rock, such as fuzz, distortion, octavia, wah-wah, and univibe. He was the first musician to use stereophonic phasing effects in recordings. Holly George Warren of Rolling Stone commented, quote, Hendrix pioneered the use of the instrument as an electronic sound source. Players before him had experimented with feedback and distortion, but Hendrix turned those effects and others into a controlled, fluid vocabulary every bit as personal as the blues with which he began, unquote. Now here's some information about Jimi Hendrix's discography, both during his lifetime and posthumously. During his lifetime, Hendrix released 3 studio albums, 3 live albums, 2 compilation albums, 14 singles, 9 albums as a sideman, and 24 singles as a sideman. His posthumous discography includes 13 studio albums, 2 soundtrack albums, 28 live albums, 28 singles, 20 anthologies and retrospective albums, 27 EPs and special releases, and 23 official bootlegs. And now, here is some information about Hendrix's recording history. His recordings have been released on the following labels. There's a lot. Reprise, Track, Capitol, Cotillion, Atlantic, Polydor, London, Parlophone, Buddha, Atco, Douglas, T-Neck, Rosemart, Barry, Revis, VJ, RSVP, Fairmount, Sumar, 20th Century Fox, MCA, Legacy, Sony, Ember, Columbia, CBS, EMI, Rykodisc, Castle, Barclay, Universal, Sundazed, Experience Hendrix, Strange Fruit, BMG, The Sunday Times, Dagger, Blue Thumb, Maple, Alla, Tripped, RCA, and Celluloid. Whew. A total of 614 records have been released on Jimi Hendrix, both solo and with other artists and bands, between 1966 and 2024. And now here is some information about awards won by Jimi Hendrix both during his lifetime and posthumously. In 1967, readers of Melody Maker voted him the Pop Musician of the Year, and in 1968, Billboard named him the Artist of the Year, and Rolling Stone declared him the Performer of the Year. Disc and Music Echo honored him with the World Top Musician of 1969, and in 1970, Guitar Player named him the Rock Guitarist of the Year. The Jimi Hendrix Experience was inducted into the UK Music Hall of Fame in 2005. Rolling Stone has ranked the band's 3 studio albums in its various lists of the 500 greatest albums of all time, and it ranked Hendrix as the greatest guitarist and the 6th greatest artist of all time. In 1968, the city of Seattle gave him the keys to the city. Guitar World's readers voted 6 of Hendrix's solos among the top 100 greatest guitar solos of all time. Purple Haze, number 70, The Star-Spangled Banner, 52, from Live at Woodstock, Machine Gun, 32, Little Wing, 18, Voodoo Child, Slight Return, 11, and All Along the Watchtower, 5. Rolling Stone placed 7 of his recordings in their list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. Purple Haze, number 17, All Along the Watchtower, 47, Voodoo Child, Slight Return, 102, Foxy Lady, 153, Hey Joe, 201, right on, Little Wing, 366, and The Wind Cries Mary, 379. They also included 3 of Hendrix's songs in their list of the 100 greatest guitar songs of all time. Purple Haze, number 2, Voodoo Child, number 12, and Machine Gun, 49. A star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame was dedicated to Hendrix in 1991. In 1998, Hendrix was inducted into the Native American Music Hall of Fame during its first year. He did have some Cherokee background in his ancestry. In 1999, readers of Rolling Stone and Guitar World ranked Hendrix among the most important musicians of the 20th century. In 2005, Are You Experienced was added to the U.S. National Recording Registry in the Library of Congress. On November 27, 1992, which would have been Hendrix's 50th birthday, it was Jimi Hendrix Day in Seattle. There was a blue plaque at Hendrix's former residence in London, the first issued by English Heritage to commemorate a pop star. There is a sculpture of Hendrix playing guitar on a street corner in Seattle. In 2006, Seattle renamed a park in his honor. In 2012, a historic marker was erected on the site of a pop festival near Atlanta, where Hendrix played to the largest American audience of his career, 200,000. At Woodstock, there were only 80,000 left there when he played, because he closed the show and a lot of people had left by the time he got on stage. Hendrix's music has received a number of Hall of Fame Grammy Awards. In 2014, the U.S. Postal Service issued a commemorative postage stamp honoring Hendrix. In 2016, Hendrix was inducted into the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame. A post office near Seattle, about a mile from his grave and memorial, was renamed for Hendrix in 2019. In 2019, the band of Gypsies, led by Hendrix, were inducted into the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame. And lastly, maybe the strangest of all, in 2022, a plaster life cast of Hendrix's penis was put on permanent display in the Icelandic Philological Museum. On that note, I'm going to sing Hey Joe. Let's do this. All right. Now then. Woo-ha. Hey Joe. All right. Let's go. Oh, geez. I need my sheet for this part. Which, of course, Carafun doesn't have the same lyrics as the original recording quite, so we're just going to use the sheet. All right. Here we go now. Hey Joe, that's made famous by Jimi Hendrix, written by Billy Roberts. Hey Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? Hey Joe, I said where you going with that gun in your hand? All right. I'm going down to shoot my old lady. You know, I caught her messing around with another man. Yeah. I'm going down to shoot my old lady. You know, I caught her messing around with another man. Hey, and that ain't too cool. Hey, Joe, I heard you shot your old woman down. You shot her down now. Hey, Joe, I heard you shot your old lady down. You shot her down to the ground. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, I did. I shot her. You know, I caught her messing around town. Yes, I did. I shot her. You know, I caught my old lady messing around town. And I gave her the gun. I shot her. All right. Shoot her one more time now, baby. Yeah. Oh, dig this. Hey. Ah. All right. Hey, Joe. Where you gonna run to now? Where you gonna run to? Hey, Joe, I said. Where you gonna run to now? Where you gonna run to? Well, take it. I'm going way down south. Way down to Mexico way. All right. I'm going way down south. Way down where I could be free. Ain't no one gonna find me. Ain't no hangman he ain't gonna put a rope around me. You better believe it right now. I gotta go now. Hey, 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 Joe. You better run on down. Goodbye, everybody. Ow! Hey, hey, Joe. Run on down. Yeah, run on down, Joe. Hey, Joe from Jimi Hendrix Experience, 1966, 67. Woo! Man. Well, that was certainly one of the most fun songs I've done in a while. All right. Hope you all enjoyed that song. I sure did enjoy singing it for you all and performing it, jumping around and doing a little fun there. All right, well, guess what, folks? I'm going to start working on my next song tonight. Yes, I am. It is a song that I love at karaoke quite a bit, too, that I've sung a lot there. It is called Get Together, a song by the Youngbloods from around the same time as Hey Joe, I think, 1967 or thereabouts. So yeah, look forward to that one. Next video, all right. Thanks for watching and listening, and remember, I ain't even started yet. Come back next time, because I ain't even started yet. Have a good day now.